For 5,000 years, this incredible circle of stones has been sitting on Salisbury Plain, holding on to its secrets. It is, without a doubt, one of humanity's greatest and most fascinating puzzles. Today, we're going to piece together the clues and try to solve the mystery of Stonehenge.
And really, that's the absolute core of it, isn't it? When you think about it, it seems completely impossible. Yet, there it is. So, how on earth did they pull it off? Let's dive in and follow the evidence.
Okay, so to really understand what an achievement this was, you first have to grasp the incredible scale of the whole project. This wasn't something they knocked out in a few years. This was a multi-generational obsession.
Just take a look at this timeline. The work on Stonehenge went on for more than 1,500 years. That's an almost unimaginable length of time. We're talking about generations of people being born, living their entire lives, and dying, all while contributing to this one single monument. It started as just a simple ditch dug with deer antlers and eventually became the masterpiece we know today. Think about that. A millennium and a half dedicated to one single project. All right, let's get into our first major clue. And you know what it is? It's the raw materials themselves. The stones whisper a story of two incredible and totally different journeys.
So here's what's so interesting. You've got two very different types of stone. First, you have the massive sarsen stones. These are the local heavyweights, making up that iconic outer ring and those huge three-piece archways. But then you have the blue stones. They're smaller, yeah, but they were brought here from over 150 miles away in the Preseli Hills in Wales. I mean, why? Why go to all that trouble for these specific stones? That question is a huge part of this puzzle.
Which brings us to our next clue, the sheer mind-boggling logistics of the whole thing. How did they possibly move and then shape these colossal stones using only the most basic, primitive tools?
Let that number just sink in for a second. 25 tons. That's the average weight of just one of the big sarsen stones. And to put that into perspective for you, that's like lifting and placing 4 full-grown African elephants. And they didn't just move one of them, they moved dozens of them across 20 miles of rolling countryside. So, the only way to do it was with staggering human effort. This wasn't just about brute force, though. This was a masterpiece of project management. You're talking about an army of people, probably around 1,000, just to drag a single stone. They used wooden sledges and rollers, and it was all coordinated by what must have been an elite group of specialists. Imagine, just moving the big stones could have taken 10 years all on its own. And this just shows how incredibly clever they were. They weren't just strong, they were smart. They used basic physics, leverage and gravity, to raise these massive stones. They'd dig a huge pit with one sloping side, slide the stone down into the hole, and then use a whole system of ropes, levers, and wooden frames to pull it upright. Once it was up, they just packed the hole with rubble to lock it in. It's pure genius. And if moving them wasn't amazing enough, look at how they shaped them. They carved what are called mortise and tenon joints to lock the top stones in place. Basically, they carved a peg on top of the upright stone and a matching hole into the lintel stone on top. This is the kind of technique you see in sophisticated woodworking, in fine furniture, but they did it with solid rock on a massive scale. That kind of detail just tells you how incredibly important this place was to them. Okay, so we've looked at the how, which is amazing in itself. But now let's get to the biggest mystery of all. Why? Why invest centuries of work into this one spot on the plains? Well, the evidence points us in a few fascinating directions. So, our first solid clue about Stonehenge's purpose? It looks like it started as a place for the dead. Archaeologists have found the cremated remains of at least 63 different people, dating all the way back to the monument's earliest phase. And this wasn't just any old cemetery. It was almost certainly a very exclusive one, probably reserved for a powerful ruling family or some kind of dynasty. But there's more to it. It is undeniably a massive celestial observatory. The entire structure is precisely aligned with the movements of the sun. On the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the sun rises perfectly over the Heels stone. And that is definitely not a coincidence. It's a deliberate design that tells us Stonehenge was also a huge calendar, which would have been absolutely crucial for a farming society that needed to track the season. And what about those blue stones, the ones they dragged all the way from Wales? Well, that epic journey fuels another powerful theory, that Stonehenge was a place of healing. In ancient societies, those particular stones were often believed to have magical or curative powers. And get this, many of the skeletons found buried nearby show clear signs of serious injury or disease, which suggests people were making these long, difficult pilgrimages in the hope that the stones could cure them. Now, the incredible thing is that this investigation is far from over. Just when we think we're getting close to an answer, some new discovery comes along and turns everything on its head. It just proves that this ancient story is still being written, even today. So here's one of the most stunning recent finds. They think they may have found the original Stonehenge in Wales. At a site called Wan Mon, archaeologists discovered a series of empty stone holes that are a perfect match for Stonehenge's blue stone circle. So the theory is that these people didn't just bring stones from a quarry, they dismantled their entire sacred monument and moved it 150 miles to its new home on Salisbury Plain. And the plot just thickened again this year. The central altar stone, which everyone always assumed came from Wales with the blue stones, was just reanalyzed in 2024. And the results are shocking. Its chemical signature doesn't match Wales at all. The closest match anyone can find is in northeastern Scotland, over 400 miles away. This one stone completely rewrites our understanding of prehistoric Britain, suggesting these people were all connected in ways we never even imagined.
So Stonehenge wasn't just built, it evolved. It was a cemetery, it was a calendar, it was a place of healing, and maybe it was a symbol of a connected ancient Britain. Every new discovery only deepens the mystery and proves that these ancient stones haven't finished telling their story. And that just leaves us with the ultimate question. What else are they hiding?